What a year it's been. 2023 sure raised the bar for Nollywood. A lot of amazing movies, and here are my top 5 and bottom 5. Hello and welcome to Nollywood Fellow, a channel where I talk Nollywood, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 and bottom 5 Nollywood movies from 2023. Now here I must mention that these are OTT releases, and I'll be talking about movies that released on OTT in 2023. Some of them may be 2022 movies, but the only criteria here is OTT release in 2023. So let's get straight to it. At number 5 is Black Book, the movie that made it to Netflix global top 3, and that was number 1 in South Korea for many weeks together. And that's a huge deal because South Korea is where the best of thrillers come from. It's the story of a bereaved deacon who takes justice into his own hands after his son is framed for kidnapping and is then shot by cops. The Black Book wasn't really high on novelty. There's a lot of déjà vu there, and there were bizarre comparisons with John Wick. But keep those aside, and it was a pretty engaging watch. And also props to the makers for working in Nigerian history into this, and to RMD for kicking ass. At number 4 is Brotherhood. I know many of you must be saying it's a 2022 movie, but here, like I said, the criteria is release on OTT. It was released in OTT in 2023. A story of two brothers on either sides of law. The movie is riveting with a high thrill quotient. What I like about it is it's an action thriller that isn't mindless and a drama that isn't melodramatic or preachy. If you ask me, this movie raises the bar for African commercial cinema. At number 3 is Yahoo Plus. What I love about the movie is the story behind the movie. It's an independent movie made in Enugu on a shoestring budget that made its way into Netflix. But the reason it's on number 3 is because of the content of this movie and also how well it was made given the budget. It's about two friends who fail to make it big in movies, and they get into this quick money scheme. Now, this movie has a lot of quintessential Nollywood tropes like quick money scheme, like I just said, and there's also a reference to living in bondage. But one thing that stands out here is that unlike many other similar movies that are based on black magic or cults or miracles, this one is based on rationale, and a big thumbs up for that. At number 2 is The Trade. Now, this year has seen huge thrillers, ones with huge budgets and huge scale. And this movie is on the lower side when you consider those factors. But instead, it's more real. It's a grungy, gripping thriller. It's about a kidnapper who kidnaps high-profile people and leaves no trace behind. A parallel story of what he's doing and what the cops are doing to track him down make this really engaging, very Nigerian movie. Here's a fun fact. Even though in the last year I've reviewed a movie every Saturday, I've never reviewed a single movie with Blossom in it. And that is because I can't pronounce his surname. But that being said, Blossom Chikubuku Raile has done a stellar job here. He has outdone himself. And that brings us to number 1. And the number 1 movie from Nollywood in 2023 is Sista. This movie is a living example that content is king. In a year when Nollywood had so many ambitious projects, it is a simple story of a single mother whose ex-partner suddenly appears back into her life that trumps them all. And I'm saying this so confidently because from whatever I've gathered online, this is the number 1 film for most Nollywood fans as well. A highly emotional story about interpersonal relationships, dilemmas, conflicts, pains, and emotions said in a very nuanced manner that never goes overboard. And it's supported by stellar performances, especially from the lead Kehinde Bankole. And as they say in Nigeria, Biodun Stephen and Kehinde Bankole, here, take your flowers. Take real ones instead. Anyway, so now it's time to move on to the bottom 5. At number 5, The Perfect Arrangement. Probably the best made film of this lot. There are good performances and there are some very interesting nuances. But overall, the way the story goes, it's a total mess. And the story has a very important lesson, a very important moral. And that is that if you're a nice guy, get the back to the friend zone. At number 4 is Ijakumo, probably the highest budget one on this list. And it was also a quiet commercial success. But in the movie, something and all happens, as we say in India. Towards the end, suddenly Toyin Abraham gets these magical powers and she's like, and a lot of weird shit happens. And I'm like, bro, why didn't you do this at the beginning? You could have saved us from 2.5 hours of torture. At number 3 is Déjà Vu. Now, this movie is what happens when you make a 10-minute movie into a 1.5 hour movie. The movie is filled with redundancies and repetition. The same thing keeps on happening again and again. They keep repeating the same points again and again. If this movie got straight to the point, they could have released it on TikTok instead of Netflix. At number 2 is Love in a Pandemic. Well, if you haven't seen the movie, let me break it down for you. Think about all the obvious things you'll find in a movie called Love in a Pandemic. Voila, that's exactly what the movie is. It is that daft and unoriginal. Coming to number 1, A Lot Like Love. This was an interesting plot and a good star cast and a lackluster movie. I love Sophia Leone. Sophie Alakija. Kids, do not Google Sophia Leone. I'll drop a spelling in the description though. Yeah, I mean, even though I'm a huge fan of Sophie Alakija and she's a talented actress as well. But the only thing I remember in this movie is Fana. And the movie is so bad, even Gabriel Afolayan couldn't save it. And before I end the video, it's time for some honorable mentions. Some other good movies that came out this year that you should watch. Breath of Life on Prime. It's a story of a man dealing with personal loss and how he finds a purpose. Jagun Jagun on Netflix, a movie set in pre-colonial Nigeria where a young man takes on a maniacal warlord. And yes, if you know Hindi, do watch it in Hindi audio. You have that option on Netflix. The House of Secrets on Prime. A woman who served her term in prison for treason and who has dissociative amnesia is now made to rejog her memory by recreating a setting from the past to uncover some secrets. A very interesting psychological thriller over there. Gangs of Lagos on Prime, one of the most anticipated movies of 2023. A story of 3 friends who grow up in the crime-riddled Isale Eko, find themselves in the middle of a gang war. Passport on Netflix. It's an interesting comedy of people from different walks of life who come together to help one man get his stolen passport back. Big Love on Prime. A beautiful love story riddled with fear and insecurity and how love trumps it all. 4444 on Prime. Period drama about a couple navigating their life through the woman's health issues and how they make it through it all. Mikolo on Prime, a fun movie for kids about kids who set out on an adventure with a magical creature. It's a fun watch, family movie, very interesting. There's also Battle on Buka Street, which is on Netflix, a beautiful film about 2 half-sisters who take forward the rivalry they inherited from their mothers. And there's Blood Vessel on Netflix, which has been the number 1 non-English film on Netflix for 2 weeks in a row and counting, which means that it's all set to break many records. It's about 6 strangers on a ship trying to find themselves in troubled waters. That's it from me, Nollywood Fellow, for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for the support in the last year. Here's looking forward to a lot more support in the coming year. Do let me know what you thought about my list of top 5, bottom 5, and do let me know your top 5 and bottom 5 in the comments below. And yeah, that's it. Hope you all had an amazing Christmas, and here's wishing you all a very happy 2024. And I'm really looking forward to the amazing movies and series that are coming out of Nollywood in 2024. And till next time, this is me, Nollywood Fellow, signing off. Thank you all. Bye.